So my name is Mary Cooksey. I've been with Hotel Vandivort at the Order for about 4 months now. I've been bartending for going on a little over 6 years. Started out when I was 18, which is pretty young, but in the state of Texas and in Arizona also. It worked out pretty well. And I've been in Springfield for the past 3 years, bartending and, just kind of enjoying being behind the stick here. What is the best drink to one customer isn't going to be the best drink to another customer or the best drink to me. It really depends on the person and their palate and their mood and, just how their day is going even. For me as a bartender or mixologist, whatever drink I'm putting across the counter to you is going to be my best version of that drink. So I would hope that every cocktail that I make is going to be the best drink for you. Our most popular cocktail that we put out is going to be our smoked old fashioned. It's no pun intended, it has spread like wildfire throughout Springfield. And I think the beauty of it is its simplicity. The old fashioned is a cocktail recipe for sugar, spirit, water, bitters, and that's all that we do. And we use smoke more as a functional garnish as opposed to smoking the entire cocktail. So it's not overwhelming. It's really light, just like that flamed orange twist on top. When you express that, it just, you get it on your nose, and that's the first thing that influences your palate, which is nice. Inspiration for a cocktail, I really feel like it can come from anywhere. When I was writing some of the drinks for the new menu, for example, I had a really bad craving one week for Thai curry, like a terrible, terrible craving. So I turned that into a cocktail. And really, to balance a cocktail, you need a little bit of sweetness, you need that tartness, you need everything to come out into a balancing act, really, is what happens. And a cocktail, it takes its own formation. It really kind of creates a personality, and you can start it and then it almost finishes itself. It's really neat how that works, actually. I think one big advantage that we have is that we have a wonderful kitchen that works with a lot of local farmers and local Springfield personnel, that we really bring a culinary aspect to craft cocktail industry. We're working with a lot of flavors that chefs are working with, trying to utilize a lot of their techniques. I probably brainstorm with chefs more than I do other bartenders half the time. And it's because their palates, you can take their raw ingredients and translate that in through whether it be a liqueur, an amaro, a spirit, just whatever you're doing. I think that's really the big difference. Whether it be a young or old professional, I think your drink says a lot about you, and I think showing an appreciation for simplicity but also having a refined palate at the same time, I think that's the ultimate goal. So whether that be a classic gin martini, or whether that be an old fashioned or a Manhattan, or really just these classic drinks that have 3, maybe 4 key ingredients that are beautiful in that simplicity. I think knowing your palate and knowing which one of those suits you, I think that is perfect for the young professional. Okay, so best Scotch for the price point. I have 2 answers to this, and it depends on how you drink your Scotch. So when it comes to if you're more of a Highland Speyside kind of person, really anything in the Glenmorangie line, whether that be the Nectar d'Or, whether that be the Quinta Ruban, they have a fantastic line of Scotches for a super reasonable price. Also, Balvenie falls into that character, as well. You could do the 14-year, the Caribbean cask. That's one of my go-to starter Scotches, actually, for if someone's really wanting to branch out into that but needs to ease their palate into it. That, or if you're wanting something a little bit peatier but you're introducing yourself to peat and you need kind of that base price point, Talisker 10-year is a fantastic option. It's not going to overpower you like Lafroig does. It's very unique. I think Oban as well kind of falls into that category. They're 14-year. It has a really unique brininess to it that I get out of it, and it's really palatable for people starting out. So I think with an old fashioned, considering the sugar content you're putting into it, it needs to be preferably a rye. on, like that's my personal opinion, but preferably a rye, or a bourbon that has a higher rye content, because you want that spiciness to stand up to the bitters and the simple sugars that you're putting into your cocktail. So like for example, we use Missouri Spirits here. It's a much younger bourbon, has a slightly higher rye content, but it still fits in that bourbon mash bill, age statement, etc. But I think that's really what you're looking for, you know. I've never truly liked the term mixologist, and I think that because it makes it sound unrelatable. It makes it sound slightly pretentious. It does denote something different, but you know, no matter how talented or how creative or how innovative the bartender is or the mixologist is, I think that they still need to have those qualities that make a bartender. You need to be able to relate to your clientele, because your customers are what make your business. It's not, I mean, it's not you that's truly doing it. It's everyone and all your guests around you. So you have to have those bartender qualities that are very Cheers-esque in a way. What makes a great bartender? I think a level of calm demeanor is essential. Really being able to read your guest, you have to become an expert in that. I mean, there are some people that want you to really get in there and talk to them and figure out what they need really for their experience. And there are some people that you just being polite and keeping your distance, you know, that is the best experience for them. So I think those are two really important qualities, honestly. And then whenever you have a guest ordering a drink, my first go-to question when they say make me something is, okay, do you want something sweet? Do you want something tart? Do you want something bold, savory? I need to pull a couple adjectives from them, and then I can build off of that. You know, you've got to be able to use very little information and create it into something great.